Hello, friends. This is Dr. Sunil Aggarwal. Hello, friends. This is Dr. Sunil Aggarwal. I'm making this video tonight in Seattle on the 23rd of February, 2018, to talk about the launch of my Patreon account and invite those of you who are interested in supporting my professing and work in the area of cannabinoid and integrative medicine, psychedelic integrative medicine, um, the study of ignorance and its um, eradication, I guess, or uh, the development of destigmatization and depathologization of human-environment relations around banned biota. Those of you who want to support the work that you've heard me profess and develop over the years, I'm asking you for your support to become a monthly supporter of my work at the Patreon account above. I've been wanting to make videos for some time, but I was not able to get Google to, which owns YouTube, to allow my account to have views turned into AdSense monetization. I think the stigma and political situation around cannabis-related expression, cannabis topics, is too volatile, or the company is too afraid of that to allow my account to be monetized. It's an unfortunate thing. That kind of support would have helped me to make it more financially feasible for me to spend my work hours and time in communication rather than doing work to pay the bills and support my family. This is part of some of the work I want to do in my life, my professional life, after all the education and experiences that I've had the opportunity to have, much of which has been funded by public dollars, including my medical education, my PhD doctoral research, and of course my residencies and fellowships, which are funded through public dollars as well, through the government supporting these hospitals. So it is it definitely is part of my giving back to the public, for me to share what I've learned. Much of the topics that I have studied, though, weren't in the official curriculums, and I have written a lot of papers and articles and given presentations and made efforts to educate professional organizations like the AMA and other organizations with some success. My papers have been cited by the United Nations and cited hundreds of times in some cases. But none of that allowed me to even be considered for many academic jobs after I completed my last year of my training. Academic jobs where I would have a guaranteed income, where part of it would be as an educator or scholar. It didn't pan out. Again, I think due to the institutional politics of the topics that I pick up. So I still want and have this desire to fulfill that role, and with your help, I can do that more through this medium. And there's lots that I want to share with you about my thoughts, and as I've been able to launch my own clinical practice and doing what I call cannabinoid integrative medicine, and now as I'm launching psychedelic integrative medicine through the use of ketamine to treat existential anxiety and treatment-resistant depression and pain syndromes, anxiety, eating disorders. We'll see what quite a bit of applications there. I'm really feeling like I want to share some of my views on the topics of the day, politically, socially, medically, as they relate to the things that I've studied and the things that I get to see on a regular basis as a practicing frontlines doctor. I've made sure to make my services in the greater Seattle area as accessible to as many people as possible by accepting all major forms of insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. And this has allowed me to get to see a whole spectrum of different kinds of social strata, patients from different social strata. And so I also want to share, my thoughts on the ongoing pharmaceuticalization of cannabis, the politicalization, the laws at the federal, state, and international level, and the local level, and try to help people get a more integrative understanding of where this fits in vis-a-vis our health and biological reality, and also how it fits into our larger history of racism, colonialism, what's called accumulation by dispossession, i.e., getting things by taking things that don't belong to you, and general, lack of awareness of history and other ways of being in the world and knowing things, and how we can better harmonize that so that we can have a better place to live, a more enriched society that's less ignorant of others and is more caring and more peaceful. I'm very alarmed by the amount of violence in my society, both in the context of the drug war and war in general. And I think a lot of it has to do with this fundamental age of anxiety we live in, fundamental inability to experience states of relaxation and comfort and quality. And that's certainly what drew me into cannabis related studies in the first place, was my own ability to feel free of sort of a deep level of anxiety when I had first tried it, and then part of my process of becoming vocal and speaking out about it was, I just wasn't comfortable with the manipulation of science and this to support a political agenda that essentially was promulgating ignorance and supporting certain special interests that stood to gain from a view of cannabis and other drugs that was grounded in a sort of ignorant rejection of the nature of our beings and the history of our relationships to these substances. Anyway, that's a long-winded thing to say, but I feel like I want to share here topics like that, exploring stigma and exploring how we become better, how we can become better at taking care of each other, and I can talk about dementia, pain management, chronic pain syndromes. I can talk about neurological disorders. I can talk about psychiatric disorders. I have a lot. I'll be excited to share both for lay people and for health professional audiences. And I'm really excited to do that. And I hope that with your support, I can make this more of a livelihood that will allow me to do this more regularly. So thank you for listening. And if you're out there, and thank you for your support, you can check out the link up there for my Patreon account, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Thank you very much, and have a good night.